Cornhole for Mexico. I'm Rick. This is the shack. Hello, welcome. If you're new here, I want to say thank you so much for taking some of your time out to view my channel. If you follow me any length of time, you know I do work for others. We have a place that we are refurbishing for abandoned and abused women in San Vicente. If you want to know more about it, there will be a link up here. We had a group go down Thanksgiving weekend. Unfortunately, because of the car accident I was involved in, I was unable to go. I was pretty bummed that I missed out. So I started thinking, can I build something collectively as far as them as a group can use? I started, well, why not a game? Perfect. That way they go out, they get together, they get little teams, and they can play some games. So what kind of games could I build for them? I thought, well, what the heck, man? That cornhole game is perfect. So we're going to build a couple of cornhole games. Very simple, very easy. Everybody and the brother has already done it. Nothing new. So let's get outside and get going. Just so I can have equal cuts on this 4x8 sheet of plywood so they're all pretty well equal. Instead of cutting on the 2-foot mark and then my blade will make it 1/8 inch short, so actually I'm losing 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to offset, I'm going to go back a 1/16, so I'll be at 23 15/16. So my 1/8 inch blade will go at 1/16 over on the other cut. All my pieces should be pretty close to exact same size. Next step is I'm going to cut the frame up now. I have my table saw set at 4 foot. Now I always trim the end first so I make sure everything stays square. And I have this set for 4 feet, so I'll take this till it touches my stop. So the next cut, top and bottom, I'm going to cut these since they are set in between the sides at 22 7/8. Cut the rest of these up. So my next step, I'm going to set my pocket hole jig to 3/4 inch because that's what the thickness of the material I'm using for the top. Not 1.5 inches for this because I'm not putting it next to another 1.5 inches. These are going into this that way, and the top will go on here and I'll screw that into it. Now that I have all of my frames drilled with the pocket holes, I'm going to sand this side real quick to get these little burrs off from the pocket holes. Then we're going to start assembling it. I'm using, this is 150. And it gives it a very smooth finish. This is good enough, not like it's going to be an heirloom piece of furniture. These are going outside, going to be getting a lot of abuse. So I'm not going really crazy on detail. I've gone around and I put my squaring clamps on, tighten everything up. Basically I'm just going to go around, make sure I have a little bit of an overhang on all edges. Make sure this is sitting on my top piece all the way around. With everything secured to the tabletop and all my corners squared up, I'm going to put 3.5 inch deck screws on the ends to hold it. Then we'll go inside and put in all the pocket screws. Get all 4 corners, then we'll put the pocket screws in. On the sides, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. Both sides, then I'll do the ends. Don't do it too hard, you don't want to strip it out. Just let it click a few times so you know. And that's it. 1 down, 3 more to assemble. But this is what it looks like so far. Now that I have these all assembled, I have my router in the fixed base. I have my trim bit set to the depth that I need. I'm going to go around, I'm going to trim this top flush with the frame now. With all the sides trimmed flush, I'm going to take some 150 grit. Just give it a quick sanding. The hole size on these games is a 6-inch diameter hole. So I did my measurement. I am at 23 7/8. So I took my T-square, I went in 11 15/16, put in there, scribe the line, and that's my dead center. And we're supposed to go 9 inches down, so I went 9 inches down, set this in there, scribe that. Now there's my center where it belongs. So I set this at 3 inches, put that in the center. That is my circle. So I will cut this out with my jigsaw. And if you really want a really good circle, you definitely have to get a 6-inch hole saw. I do not have that. What I use to sand this hole with, I just got one of my caulking tubes, wrapped some 80 grit, went around, then just by hand I used some 150 grit, went around, so now it's smooth, inside and top. So I have a roundover bit. I'm just going to take a little edge off this. That's perfect. Just put a little sand around that, smooth it out. That is smooth, that's perfect. I'm going to use the same bit to go around all the edges here just to knock off the corner. So that way the bean bags, there's no way of anything getting hung up or caught. As always, I would suggest, especially with raw virgin wood like this, put a coat of primer on prior to putting your final choice of paint on. Fortunately, I have a spray gun. I'm going to shoot these real quick, flip them over, shoot the top, let them dry. While these are drying, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut the legs. My little granddaughter is out here playing while I shoot. So, what, sweetie? So I'm going to shoot these real quick and then we'll get going on the legs. Nice. Now these are all painted. I'm going to let them dry real good once I cut up the legs. Well, I have the legs cut and I got it figured out. They say they want it to be 12 inches high. Right there, that is right on the nose, 12 inches. What I did, the bottom is cut at an 8-degree angle to conform because it's setting like this. It's not straight up, it's setting at an angle. So I got to make me, that's one set, I make 3 more sets. With the legs all cut, now what I'm doing, centering it from here to here, taking my tool and drawing half circle. I'll go on my bandsaw, cut this out, so that way it pivots inside. One down. All the legs are ready, so I'm going to go to my drill press, drill a 5/16 hole in here. Now setting these up, since I have these angled, has to stay at a 90. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting this in here. So that's set at a 90. I clamp it, drill it, then I check it for clearance, and if I need to sand it, I sand it till it's right. Go from folded to up, it's got to stay 90. That's why we have the top cut in an angle so it sets properly. I used a pre-drilled hole in leg as a guide. Take the bolts, which are 4-inch long 5/16 bolts. It's good enough just to hold the legs on, don't need a lot. One body washer here. Put this on. Now, as I go to close it, it's going to mark, so I have to sand a little bit off the bottom. See right there. Once they are sanded and they're right, then they'll work smoothly like this.
When it comes to painting, because these are going down to Mexico, and and let's face it, kids aren't going to be the gentlest. They're going to be kind of rough. They're going to have fun. They're going to play with it. So I'm basically just doing a basic design. I chose 4 different colors, and basically the middle, like I said, I've already painted this. It's white. Now I'm going to mark off. For me, I'm going to go 3 inches in on each side, and then right above the hole, I will mark the center line, and I'm going to tape from here to the center, just to give that little arrow-like almost point going to the hole. So again, I'm just going 3 inches over, and I'm going to just mark it down. Not rocket science, just get close. It's very lightly scribed. I'm going to do the same for the other side, just so I have a reference point. Up, and then from here over to the inside, I'll mark it right there. So that's that. That, and then just fold this in. And all this is going to be painted the color. This is going to stay white. Same thing on this side, just on the inside of that mark. Take that, angle it over to the center mark, right there. There we go. Bring that down, and again, keep that because it angled a little bit, so that comes up and over. So there we go. This is all going to stay white. This is going to be, I'm actually painting this one yellow. And when it comes to painting, I said I'm painting this one yellow. These are the legs. What I will do, I will hold it, paint the bottom and all these edges, set it down and paint one end. I'll paint the other, then I'll paint the game board while these dry. Then I can flip it over and paint the other side, and that'll be done. Alright, they got the first coat on. There we go. Now let's get the board going. When I paint these boards, I'll always start like on the bottom here and work my way up and around. So looking to really fill in the edges here, make sure it looks good. And again, first coat's light, then go over with another second coat to blend it all in. Now be careful up here because you don't want to get over on the white you've already painted. The legs, I'm going to peel this off so it doesn't take any of the paint off with it. A little nickels or something. Take this side off. Excuse me. I always peel it towards it. Well, there they are, all complete, all ready for the kids in Mexico. Simple, easy. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I can't wait to give these to the kids down in Mexico. That's why I say build it for your sanity. Just build something and then give it away. That's the greatest gift you can do. Sacrifice some of your time for somebody else. I will have another video out when I give these to the kids. I'll get that all edited. I know it's a little overdue, but I will have that coming out soon. If you'd like to help in our efforts down there, help support us, I will have a link to a PayPal account strictly for helping us offset the cost of what we're doing down there. I'm going to put these away. Sun's going down. I'm going to put these in the shop. Thank you again so much for watching. Hope this inspired you a little bit. You know, these been around for a while. Very easy to do. And he said, I just did some basic layouts. You can lay these out any way you want. Go crazy, get wraps put on, you know, all kinds of wacky stuff. It doesn't matter. I just did something basic because these are going to get somewhat abused. So I didn't want to get too crazy because the kids are going to use them and they'll probably destroy them a little bit. So that's okay. You know, as long as they have fun, that's the main thing. Again, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back a shot. Build it for your sanity and then give it away. I'm done. That's it. We'll see you next video. Check in the description below. I got all that information.